Good day, everybody. My name is Oluwa Tamiwa Kasoko. Most people call me Tommy. Excuse me. And currently living in Philadelphia, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I have the luxury of presenting to you all Chapter 8 on the topic of decision making and problem solving. Let us begin. What is decision making? Decision making is the process of choosing one alternative from among several other alternatives. Also, it's made to bring about a desired outcome. For example, we're faced with many decisions each and every single day. What should we have for breakfast? What should we have for lunch? What shirt should we wear? Or in this scenario, what chapter should I choose to present on for my organizational communication class? What is problem solving? Problem solving involves finding the answer to a question. I don't know about you all, but when I think of problem solving, I think of those dreaded math questions in calculus or geometry and algebra in which I had to find Pythagorean theorem, or I had to find X, Y, and Z, and so. Those problem solving scenarios utterly disappointed me, but I'm over it now. It's all good. That's funny. So in decision making, there are two types of decisions. There was a program decision and there was a non-program decision. A program decision recurs often enough for a decision rule to be developed. And a decision rule is a statement that tells a decision maker which alternatives to choose from based on the characteristics of the decision situation. A non programmed decision occurs when a problem or decision has not been encountered before. So, one, the program decision is when something has happened enough that you know an approach and you have an approach that helps you in making a decision. Two, the non programmed decision, this decision has not happened to you or is highly unlikely and it hasn't occurred to you before, so you're not aware of how to make this decision. So, in decision making, we have something called a condition of certainty. In the condition of certainty, the outcome of an alternative in a decision making process is already known. Contrarily, we have a condition of risk. In the condition of risk, a decision maker cannot know or does not know with certainty what the outcome of a given action will be, but he or she has enough information to estimate the probabilities of various outcomes. So, with a condition of certainty, we are more likely to make this decision because we know the outcome. We know what's going to happen. But in the condition of risk, people are less likely or are more hesitant because they do not know the certainty of what's going to happen. So there are a few different approaches to making a decision. One of them is called the rational decision making approach. The rational decision making approach is a systematic, step by step process for making decisions. So there are 8 different steps in the rational decision making approach. The first, you must state a situational goal. The second, you must identify what the problem is. The third, determine the decision type. Is it a programmed decision or is it a non programmed decision? Fourth, you must generate an alternative or generate different choices. 5, evaluate the choices, evaluate the alternatives. Does this alternative or does this choice bring you nearer to the identified goal that you stated in the first step? 6 is choose an alternative. 7, implement the plan. This is the most important step in the rational decision making process because after you've done other things such as stating the goal, identifying the problem, determining the decision type, generating the alternative, evaluating the alternatives, or choosing alternatives, now it is time to do. It is time to implement the plan. This is the most important step in decision making. And then 8 is the control, the measurement, and the adjustment part. Has the outcome matched your desired goal? So after you have made a decision or choice, you must then go back and measure it and adjust it and see, has this brought you closer to the goal that you stated in the first step? And if not, then you make the adjustments, and then you measure it again. And if not, you keep going and you keep going and you keep going. Excuse me. Another approach that individuals have in making a decision is called a behavioral approach. This behavioral approach is different from the rational decision-making approach because it acknowledges the role and the importance of human behavior in a decision-making process. Herbert A. Simon was one of the first experts to recognize that decisions are not always made with rationality and logic. So, in the behavioral approach to making a decision, there are many elements that play a factor or play a role. One is your intuition, two, ethics, three, your escalation of commitment, and four, the risk propensity. So, the first one is your intuition, which is an innate belief about something without conscious consideration. With your intuition, you just know with your heart of hearts and in your mind that this is a decision that you must make. It's something that you just do. It doesn't require much thought or much logic. You just do it. The second element of a behavioral approach that I touched on earlier are your ethics. Ethics are a person's beliefs about what constitutes right and wrong behavior. This could be tied a little bit into your intuition, but we'll keep it as a separate entity in itself. So your ethics, like I said, is a person's beliefs about what constitutes right and wrong. So for me, I'm not going to kill somebody because that, for me, is wrong. At least in the situation, it is wrong. I didn't need much thought to know that that was wrong, or to know that that was a decision that I was not going to make, or I was going to make. The third behavioral element, which I shared, is the escalation of commitment. And the escalation of commitment, this is when a decision maker stays with a decision even when it appears to be wrong. And this is a behavioral element that most people have. Even when it appears to be wrong, they stick with it because they're just attached to it and they're committed to it and they're devoted to it. That is a behavior that many people have, and it could be a little bit of a pride thing. I'm not sure, or I might, you guys can make the decision on your own. Like, people are just stuck to something because they just want to be committed to it, even if it is wrong. And then the last element which I shared was the risk propensity. A risk propensity is the extent to which a decision maker is willing to make a gamble in a decision making approach. People with a higher risk propensity are more willing to make a gamble. People with a low risk propensity are less willing to make a gamble, or are less willing to make a decision, or a decision based on a condition of risk. So, I have for you all a question. What decisions have you made under condition of risk, and what were the alternatives surrounding your decision? For me, I have an example. Not too long ago, I moved up here. Well, in March, I moved up here to Philadelphia to play for a professional soccer team. And after 6 months, so this past August or this past September, I decided to stop after much consideration and after much thought and rationality and logic. So I made a rational based decision. After much of that, I chose to stop and pursue something else, preferably something with my major. So this was a big risk for me because soccer was all I've known. It's been the main thing that I've done my whole life. I played in middle school, I played in high school, I played in college, and now I play professionally. So in order for me to move on, this was a big condition of risk for me because I was, in a sense, I wasn't sure of the outcome, but I knew of certain outcomes that could occur. So if I stopped, I was hoping to gain either an internship or a job in a field related to strategic communication. And praise God, I have the opportunity now where I intern at an agency in public relations and marketing. But that's beside the point. The point I'm trying to make is that that was a condition of risk for me because I was not sure what the outcome was going to be. I was very uncertain of what was going to happen, and I doubted myself a little bit. And through a rational approach, I stated my goal, I identified my problem or circumstance, I determined the decision type. This for me was it was in between a non-programmed and a programmed decision, so I'm not sure which one there was. I generated alternatives. My alternatives were different agencies, different firms that I could work for. I evaluated my alternatives. Will this alternative bring me nearer to my goal? And that was so that the alternative was stopping soccer. Will that bring me nearer to my goal of getting more involved in the field related to my major? I chose an alternative. I implemented the plan, and now in the control, measurement, adjustment step, I've realized that this decision has brought me closer to my desired goal of doing something and working in the communications professional field. So I hope you all learned a great deal about decision making. and I would love to hear about the decisions that you all have made, below in the thread. Thank you very much, and have a great and blessed day.